Welcome to Vice and Easy, your podcast for all things Miami Vice, with your host, Marina.
Hello, and welcome back to Vice and Easy. Happy New Year, by the way. This episode is not a happy one. Trigger warnings all around. I really wanted to get this out before the holidays, and I was so busy, and I was like, you know what? I really don't want to do this energy right now. And then I got super sick over the holidays. I can still go do my job. Like, I'm not calling in sick, but I definitely feel it. And we got this crazy windstorm as well after the rain. So maybe it's just an overload of pollen. But I still kind of feel like garbage. I don't know what it was because it was not the flu and it was not COVID. But I got the chills. I got stomach issues. I got congestion, and I got a really dry, hacking, mucusy cough that I'm still dealing with. So yeah, I don't know what it was. I got my dad sick, got my boyfriend sick. So yeah, happy holidays. That's it. I was able to go tobogganing, so that was fun. But yeah, aside from that, it was kind of a write-off. But 2026 is also not looking to be a great year. So let's just get into it. While we're already talking about bad news and bad things. This week on Vice and Easy, we're covering Season 5. It's the penultimate episode of Vice and Easy. Season 5, Episode 20, entitled Too Much, Too Late. Per IMDb, Valerie returns to Miami to help a friend turned junkie whose teenage daughter is being preyed upon by her abusive drug dealer. She also hopes of possibly rekindling her romance with Tubbs. Meanwhile, Stan returns to his gambling ways. This B-roll intro, I was like, I recognize a lot of it because I recognize the blue bodysuit. I recognize that shaky camera work of the Miami skyline. I want to say that's from the Burnett arc. And there's a lot I couldn't place. There was a lot that was Miami. There's a lot I couldn't place. And thank you and shout out to Miami Vice Wikia. A lot of it was in downtown Los Angeles. A lot of it was not Skid Row, but close. One spot is now closed, but it was a hot poppin' coffee shop, Verve Coffee, downtown. And just interesting to see all these LA facades. And I'll talk about this a little bit more when we get later on to the episode. You can check the show notes as well. I think after 4 seasons of this exterior shot being used, I think I've sourced all the information I can about Raoul's. But let's continue. The B-roll was a little bit dramatic. I like the guy holding the other guy up with a knife in the pouring rain, the full moon, the thunder, and the lightning, which I got in a GIF on the gallery. I don't want to laugh at it, but I was like, it's very heavy-handed. Then we cut to a little girl watching her mom fighting with her drug dealer. And it's rough.
In the counter.
It's a really rough scene, not just because it sets up what we know to be later on the episode and why NBC wouldn't air it, but the fact that he's breaking so much of her furniture and punishing her for not having the money more so, and then she needs to clean it up while her daughter's there. It's just really rough. Now, the song in the background is actually by Tim Truman, and the other guy who's also credited is Phil Perry. We'll hear this song throughout the episode, but I'll play a clip of it now before we get to it again with the reprise. But it's Help Me Through the Night.
Help me through the night. This is a place that's hard and cold, where the colors fade and the young just grow old.
Now, I'm saying this with a little bit of, as the kids say, snark, in my opinion. This episode and Free Fall have much more hit songs, or not to say hit songs, but non-Tim Truman songs than I expected. I wonder if, because they knew it was the final season, they kind of moved the music budget for the last couple of episodes. Interesting. We'll get to that more. I just also watched Free Fall again yesterday. So I was like, oh, yeah, I hear it. I see it, which is good. You can definitely tell the budget is not the same as it was in season 2 or 3 naturally. But I still think they did a great job with Free Fall. So I'm really excited to get to it. And let me finish this episode first before I just talk about Free Fall. Yeah. But it's at this time that the little girl looks at a picture, and it's Pam Grier. Valerie is back, but it's not a happy episode. And she calls her asking for help.
This is a place where no one will ever live.
Hello, Valerie.
Lynette? Hi.
Wow, I hope somebody got fired for that blunder. I realized I'd already talked about the clip, and I wanted to add it, and then I realized it just cuts off abruptly as soon as Pam answers. So I do apologize. It is sweet. She does ask for help, and right after, Pam gets off the phone and calls Tubbs, who makes his way right over to the house. But I will say that the child, she has a cat clock, and the face of the clock is on the body of the cat, which is very cute. And then she has 2 Siamese cats as figurines. Very sweet. And E.T., like, this is a kid. This is really sad. By the time Tubbs and Crockett make it to the house, Tubbs tries to chase the guy out. Guy's very quick, runs to his car, backs out, and gets away before they can do anything. Tubbs goes to help the mom, Yvonne, and Lynette, and we cut to the credits. We're at the hospital. Yvonne doesn't want to name Swain her drug dealer. It's really sad. It's really frustrating. And if you think it's frustrating for us as the audience, this is what her daughter thinks.
All I gotta do is find him the money, like you said.
You want to give him money? For your lousy dope. Mama, don't you ever think about me?
Look, I care about you. I mean, look, I really care about you. It's just that it hurts inside. It's the pain that I'm feeling inside. Lynette, you gonna help your mama? Just help your mama, okay, baby? Come on.
This scene really got under my skin for a plethora of reasons, and it gets so much worse. But the victim mentality the mom has, and the mom portrayed by CCH Pounder, very accomplished actress. She is very good in this role. You can feel the desperation, you can feel the unhappiness, and you can feel how she could get trapped in this cycle of abuse, paired with her addiction, making her super vulnerable. It makes me so sad. But the timing works that Val is now in town. She's at OCB catching up with Rico. But this is sweet. I like how she's welcomed by Crockett.
And Sonny.
I'm good. You down here for business or pleasure?
Maybe both.
Yes, get it, girl. The business part, though, is also not just business. We learn later on in the episodes that Yvonne and Val grew up together in Park Slope, and that she's had a really rough go of it, teen mother, drug addiction. So we know that Val really does want to see her get better, and she wants to help, but still tough. And then it's tougher when she's trying to do the right thing, trying not to enable Yvonne, but knows that Yvonne owes money, knows that Yvonne might want to get better. she might not be ready to take those steps on her own. And she knows that there's a possibility that she's not going to extract herself from the relationship with Swain.
You know, we've beaten this thing before. But this time, I want to get you into a program.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that myself.
Hey, look, I got to get back to the hotel, make some calls. Why don't I change and come back, and then we all go out?
Well, I got something to do tonight. Maybe you just go see about that program.
Okay, well, then I'll call you tomorrow.
Oh, man. Unfortunately, that's par for the course. Speaking of addictions that are hard to shake, Switek is not doing as well as he claims, and he lies, bold-faced lies, to Crockett about the program while making bets.
On the 6th and the 1st at Gulfstream, will you? Yeah, I used to be the same way. Yeah, always thinking I could make it back in the night. Some system, huh? Right. Okay, yeah, call me anytime. Yeah. We got a mutual support network. We call each other when we're thinking about making a bet.
So those meetings are working out for you, huh?
Oh, sure. I went there with the wrong attitude, but after hearing people coping with their problems, it turned me around.
That's terrific, Stan. Keep it up.
Absolutely. I need those meetings just as bad as anyone else there. And I owe it all to you and Rico. You guys got me to go.
Poor Switek for not just this arc coming back, which we touch again on in the finale, for that outfit, that atrocious shirt, my lord. What did I say? Both outfits are atrocious. Not just ugly, atrocious is what I put down. The purple and the yellow. I do feel bad for him too. Like a huskier gentleman, they just put him in these loose tops. And I've mentioned this before, like I do the same thing when I gain weight, and it's like, it really doesn't help. It just makes it worse. And it just doesn't do much for your confidence either. But let's cut to Raoul's that you'll see in the show notes. I'm very excited that I finally get to debunk it. I've taken a couple pictures whenever I drive by. It's a very popping intersection, and San Vicente kind of cuts through the whole city from the west side. This has been a bank for about 40 years when it closed, which is like 2018, 2019. So it's been a bank the whole time. And when you look inside, even though this is not a great photo, but now it makes sense to me, it doesn't look like a nightclub. Unless there's a room in the back. It looks bright. It looks open. There are plants inside. Like, yeah, it's a bank. So I don't know why they put this exterior up. I don't know the reasoning behind it. I don't know what else was it used for. But it's really funny because another thing about this episode is I think I made a gif of it. Let me check. I don't see it. But because it would have been around this time where two girls are walking and I saw San Vicente Boulevard and I saw the blue LA street sign, 800 North. And I was like, wait. And then we cut to Raoul's, which again was a nightclub 2 episodes ago, and now we're back. No, 2 episodes ago, because the last one was Line of Fire. 2 to 3 episodes ago, it was like a popping nightclub, and now it's a very romantic restaurant. I must say, it does look like a very cozy, not cozy, but like it does look like a very opulent. Don't ask me how I conflated those two words. With the chandelier and the back padding on the booth, or the banquette, another word I only learned 3 years ago. Tubbs, Val, both looking very, very good looking on their romantic date. as they catch up.
Maybe you can get Yvonne into a program.
I can try, but the question is whether she'll stay in it or not.
In the meantime, I think we got a program to be thinking about of our own.
What's that? Are you trying to kick or break an old habit?
In the beginning, you make habits. In the end, habits make you. And you're the only habit I got.
You still know how to make me feel good.
The segue from, hey, your drug-addicted friend who's being beat up by her drug dealer to, I can't get over you. Interesting. Also, within this whole timeline, I do like that they brought Val back because she is a very important part in Tubbs's life, even though we don't get to see her a lot. And tying into season 5 of being checked out, of wanting something different, I really do sense Tubbs is, I don't want to say looking at this through rose-colored glasses. I don't really know if this would be considered a situationship or a long distance. But again, like within the time that we've seen them together as an audience, Tubbs has had a baby with another woman who was blown up in front of him and has had paramours and had lovers. But yes, Val, I don't want to say that she's the one that got away. And also, I'm not trying to romanticize situationships because if he wanted to, he would. But I think that at this juncture in his career, when he's already so disenfranchised, I think he's really romanticizing the possibility and what he could have with Val to his own detriment. And let's get depressing again, because this is the point of the episode where everything takes a turn for the worse.
You waste too much of my time.
Swain, that's money I don't owe. That's money I don't owe.
That's a late payment penalty. A little vig for my patience.
No, Swain, I gotta have something. I gotta have it. I gotta
Get
have
off
it.
me, woman, and be happy I'm calling us even.
No, Swain. You can have me any way you like it.
You'd have to pay me.
Wow.
Come on now, Swain.
But there is something you can deal with, though.
Okay, tell me, come on. You talking about my little girl?
Oh, she's not so little.
No way.
There's a lot of women on her.
Oh my God. And this clip I purposefully cut short because he also says something to the effect of, she's gonna get tricked out anyways, may as well start her early. And despite her not at all with this idea, she does eventually relent. And that's also something I just really didn't want to put onto the podcast because we all kind of know what happens. And then they cut the scene before anything happens that we can see, but we definitely know as the audience, we know what's going to happen to poor Lynette. Yvonne does go to try to stop Swain, but it's too late. Well, back at OCB, Tubbs is in a great mood, whistling, happy, while Crockett's a little bit more somber, but they have a little bit of luck with the Morelli file that we never really get into in this episode. And then Tubbs gets some sage advice from Crockett. Tubbs, like me, doesn't want to hear it.
The Morelli report, a model of police paperwork.
What the hell are you so cheery about?
Hey, man. My buddy, my friend. Last night, Val and I had dinner together. I mean, just dinner. But But I think we're both on the same road now.
Yeah, we'll go slow, buddy, old pal.
Hey, man. I am talking life's highway. Nice and easy all the way. You know, look, I made a lot of mistakes and I did a lot of wrong, but not this time, man.
Yeah, I'm Switek, narcotics. Yeah, hold on. Tubbs, line 4, it's Val.
Nice and easy.
Hey, sweetheart, how you doing? I'll be right there.
Life is a Highway. Again, I know that's a saying before the Tom Cochrane song, but I did just Google when the Tom Cochrane song came out. I knew it was the 90s. I didn't know it was 91. I thought it was like 93. Sorry. It's played on the radio every 5 minutes in Canada. I should know when it came out. But that also... Highways... I'm not trying to be like pedantic, like a 2-lane highway, but just freeways, highways in general, not always a good time. I'm not trying to be all LA and say like it actually really sucks a lot of the time. Life is a highway at like 10 p.m. Great. Before people are drunk driving and after rush hour, life is a highway in Los Angeles from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. or from 11 a.m. until noon if you go to the west side. Now let's segue into Yvonne's body. Val finds her at the apartment with a wound, blood coming out of her back. And she's very distraught. And that's when Tubbs gets the call and Tubbs goes to see her to comfort her and to figure out what happened. And not to make another awkward segue, but Val looks great. This is my choice for best dressed woman because I really like the baggier white trench coat jacket that she has on. And I really like the earrings, the double circle earrings. So they're not hoops. They're not directly going straight out from her ear to the back. They dangle. And her hair looks great. Her bag looks great. Unfortunately, it's for like the absolute wrong time. But just saying, she's bringing the looks. But yeah, Yvonne is dead and there's no sign of Lynette. Lynette is gone. And Valerie feels bad. She tells Crockett and Tubb that she gave Yvonne the money. But she can't figure out why Swain would kill her if he already had the money. They need to get to the bottom of this. Where do we start when we don't have much to go off of, but we do know somebody with lots of connections? We go to see Izzy. Now, Izzy has a new side hustle. This is Izzy's last side hustle. Aww. Where he is doling out financial advice on the beach in a wild but interestingly flattering getup.
It's been very depressed lately.
Well, if I was a Mexican peso, I would be as depressed as well. If you want a thrill, I would discuss a little AT&T stock options. Money, applications for everyone.
What is it this time, Izzy?
Esto es un tango. And also financial advice.
Well, don't financial planners have to have a license?
This lady's a friend of mine from New York, and she's right about the license.
So, am I out of business?
If this is harmless, and you do us a favor, maybe we can waive the license for a while.
Hablas.
A crack dealer named Swain.
Never heard of him.
He likes to beat up women.
Doesn't narrow it down much. Your corner crack pusher is not the usual modus opportunus, Plantado.
I want this one so bad that I'm beginning to get a nosebleed. Comprendo?
Si, comprendo. I do what I can.
Now let's go check in on Switek. At this moment, in this scene, we get a great shot of a GA meeting. And I mean great because there's a man in a hat smoking inside. I figured there'd be more smoking inside for a 1989 meeting of this sort. If this whole episode wasn't depressing enough, let's tack this on.
Hoops, horses, dogs. That's right. I bet the rent money on an animal. But nothing mattered but the action.
That's right. And you keep on betting, even when you're losing everything. Your car, your house, your husband.
Yeah.
Jane's right. That's exactly the way it is. But now it's been 1 year. 365 days since I made a bet.
All right. Yeah.
Well, that's not where it gets depressing. And then the next speaker is going to be the smoking man in the hat. And I would love to hear his story, but we follow Switek outside. I'm assuming this is taking place in a church because of pews. However, we see Switek at the nearest payphone. To be fair, maybe he had to walk a block. And it's like this restaurant where his car is parked right outside with fountains and all this beautiful decor. I only know because this scene was in 2 episodes. Spoiler alert. And part of it, I'm like, okay, so did he valet his car at this fancy place, then go to the GA meeting, and then leave the GA meeting to, you guessed it, make a bet? I'm also trying to think, when I was a kid, there wasn't a payphone at my church, but there were definitely phones within the church you could call. I also understand not making a call right next to the GA meeting happening that you just snuck out of. So maybe he went down the street on purpose. Maybe he got into his car, went to another payphone in another part of town. And I also put my note, I was like, wow, fancy car. The thing with this episode is that it's not subtle at all. You know exactly what is coming. And it doesn't really leave you wanting more. Well, I'm saying that personally because I know 2 people who want more, and that's going to be Val and Tubbs. And you could tell, I believe this is in her hotel room. They have a little dinner set up. They have candles. They have plates. I don't really see much food. Oh, I do see food. Okay, sorry. I had to zoom in to see the food. I was like, I know the prop department was probably also like, whatever, this is our last week of work. No, because this was filmed earlier, and I want to say March. But that's true. They have a very sweet bonding moment. They make out. They both look like $1 million. Then the next day, Tubbs, again, on cloud 9. He's singing I Feel Good by James Brown. He's dancing. He's coming into OCB, going to his locker, on top of the world, until he talks to Crockett.
It's depressing.
Yeah? Well, I feel like I'm 18, man. Driving my convertible on the way to a Yankee game.
You know, don't forget what I said. Go slow.
That's what you said before. It's not like I just met Val yesterday, man.
Yeah, well, you know, you 2 just have a history of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, you haven't seen her in 3 years, man. Don't forget, she came down here to be with her friend, help her friend out.
Yeah, and we meet again, and it's hotter than ever before. What's wrong with that, Sonny?
Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing. But you don't know what's going on with her.
Yeah, well, I love her enough to marry her.
You kidding?
I'm serious. You don't trust your feelings anymore, son. Ever since Caitlin died, everything tastes sour to you, man.
Oh, man, come on. That's out of line.
Hey, look, you want to push the whole world out, and I want to live in it. I don't need you to tell me how.
Oof, I definitely see both sides. I obviously really sympathize for Crockett. But I also can see Tubbs being Crockett's friend, having lived through his Burnett era. And seeing your friend experience something incredibly traumatic, losing his wife and his unborn child in one fell swoop. And however, that's something that also Tubbs has been through, even though his son wasn't blown up along with the mom. I also understand Tubbs's I want to live in it mentality, because it's true, you can close yourself off to the point where you're not really living, you're existing, but you also want to protect yourself. So I get both sides. And they have a awkward walk down the hall. I did try to take a picture of the board. Couldn't really get much. The words I got, and I can see New Jersey Battery Enforcement Officer, wanted for. So wanted for battery enforcement officer. I don't know what the rest of the words following those are. Like it's battery stop, enforce stop, officer stop. And then down it says New Island, New Jersey, Ellison. Can't really figure it out, but obviously it's a bad guy. So again, I'm still giving props to the prop department. And I must say that nobody pulls off Paisley like Philip Michael Thomas. It's such a hard pattern to pull off, but this man makes it look like $1 million, especially in season 5 Miami Vice, where he's just been all about Paisley. He rocks it. Speaking of PMT, let's take this dapper, well-dressed man. I also really love his sunglasses. There's more pictures in the gallery. I was really trying to get a photo of the background couple. It's guy in white pants with like a, I don't want to say it's a Hawaiian shirt, but a tropical print shirt. Unbuttoned, so you do see the chest hair, you do see the chain, you see the mullet, and you see the mustache. I was like, sold. And then there's another couple above them. She's leaning on the railing in a white suit. He's in a pink shirt, but I was like, this is my guy of the episode. Tubbs is outside of the spot where Valerie is staying, and they're going to go try and find Lynette. Val has a pretty good hunch. There's a park that Lynette liked to go to. Very sweet that she's close enough with her godmother that the godmother would know this. My godmother is my old nanny. Yeah, so like I do not interact with my godmother. Not in a bad way. It's just, it would be a little awkward. I don't think she would not want to see me. I think it would be, hey, how are you? Hang out one time, at her house or vice versa. And then that's about it. It's been 33 years, since I saw her last and yeah, we live like maybe 50 miles away from each other, but I don't know. Also, like, this is someone who was paid to take care of me. This is not, I'm sure there is affection. I was her flower girl, but I'm not going to be delusional and be like, oh, she was my friend, she must miss me. I've heard other people talk about their nannies that way, and I'm like, ooh, girl, like, that's a little weird. She's on a payroll. That is not your family. She is paid. That is, that is not someone who there might be genuine feelings, but like, yeah, that is an employee, and don't get it twisted. Where did I go off this? Oh, yeah, the godmother. As they're in the park, the song playing in the background is Mixed Up, Shook Up Girl by Mink DeVille. Willie DeVille, also a very interesting look. And then when I read that he lived in New Orleans for 15 years, I'm like, oh, I get that. You kind of get that like rockabilly sense. Mixed Up, Shook Up Girl, again, just like too on the nose. There's not a lot of subtlety this episode.
She's a mixed up, shook up girl, got me so strong, I don't know what to do. She's a mixed up, shook up girl.
They do find her. Val finds her. She runs up to her saying that she was sexually assaulted. by Swain. Yeah. Back at another building. I don't want to say it's the courthouse. I want to say it's some department building. Oh, genius, Marina. Yes, it's a building. A therapist comes in wanting to talk to Lynette, and Val tries to say that, she's not interested in talking to anybody, and the doctor therapist, pushes it around and tries to get a yes, and I don't blame the doctor, just doing their job, and they want to make sure that they can catch whoever did this just as much as anyone else. But, however, the doctor is sent away, says she'll come back tomorrow. I like the doctor's outfit. I have a dress that's very similar. I just don't have the body to pull off that kind of like scarf bow. I also want to say it might be called a pussy bow, but so I just, not to make everything about me, but I do have like a very soft blush pink dress. And yeah, it just didn't do what I thought it would do. I need it for my brother's wedding because it was full length sleeve. It wasn't like shoulders showing. Not that it was that type of wedding, but I was like, my grandma's coming, my family's there. I'd like to not be in a scandalous dress, unlike my mother's retirement party where I wore a very short dress. So I was like, you know what? I need some family photos that are going to stay a while where it's not too scandalous. But the doctor looks better than I did in a very similar outfit. Val, I also like her outfit here. The stripes, I like the top button. I've never really thought of that, where you just kind of button a shirt at the top. Obviously, she has a shirt underneath and kind of let it flow like that. Her skin looks amazing. Her makeup looks amazing. Her hair looks amazing, even though she's really going through it. Someone else who's also really going through it is Switek, listening to the scores on TV. And doesn't seem like much is really going in his favor when he hears a siren go off outside.
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
Collecting what you owe the man, Stanley.
This trash you drive wouldn't cover what you lost tonight. Hey, look, he'll get his money. Stay out of my life! Stay out of my life! Hey, come back here! Hey!
You can't really tell in this skirmish, but that's Stan stealing the repo truck with his car attached. I really want to know how far he was able to get, not being able to go that fast. I'm very curious, but he gets away for now. Okay, for this next scene, I have literally wrote Val and Rico in a room with bisexual lighting, as the kids would call it. What I mean by that is I think that it's pink and blue. This is what I've seen from TikToks, but this is exactly what it reminded me of. And Tubbs has something he wants to ask her. Oof.
Right now, I just need to be here for Lynette.
Look, you shouldn't try to take this whole thing on your own shoulders, I mean, I could really help.
Rico, I'm not trying to shut you out.
Did you hear what I asked you?
Yes, I heard you.
Ooh. Yeah, I think... Did Tubbs really think that she was going to say yes? Oof. Oh, man. Tubbs goes to, again, my notes, this weirdly set up bar. It looks like it's a house that has some tables, like lounge tables, by the window. And then there is a glass block dividing wall. I'm making a little heart shape with my hands. And then there's a bar. Very weird setup. And he goes to talk to Crockett. Again, who he wasn't super nice to. And Tubbs might not want to hear, I told you so. We know that Crockett is a better friend than that. But still, it's tense.
You got something to say? Say it, son.
Okay. I think there's something funny about Val's involvement in this whole thing. Like the way she keeps Lynette away from us, from talking to us. And how she suddenly knew exactly where, in all of Miami, the kid could be found.
So you're saying that she's holding something out of us?
You ask.
Yeah, that was the first mistake.
Rico, man.
Hey, we all on the same page here or what? I mean, is there some problem I should
There's
know?
no problem. What you got?
Mojito. Address at the crack house run by a guy named Goddaughter. Swain is there from 10 to 11 every night to pick up his street stash. Drives a creepy white caddy. You're very welcome.
Know where he is. When we retire, we'll give you our pitching funds to invest.
It might be too late, man. Swain is bad, stone evil. What's your assets?
I should also point out, as the resident watcher, Crockett, of course, has his shot at blackjack while he has a beer. Just needed to make sure that I saw that. I thought I made a gif of it, but I don't see one. I also love the parting shot of Izzy smoking. Let's check back in on Switek. Last time we saw him, he was stealing his car back, ? This time, he is waking up in a random room with a bunch of sweaty goons all around who want to talk to him.
Hired goons?
You did the other night. You're not going to have a life.
You want the car? Take it. I don't care anymore.
We can be reasonable. You keep the car. Instead, you do me a favor.
What kind of favor?
What difference does it make? You got to do it. We own you now, Stanley. You must understand that. We own you.
Then we make a jarring jump to the crack house, which is a lot nicer. I understand this is TV, these are extras, but you would think there'd be more junk or people lying closer to each other. Like, it kind of seems civilized. Like, I've seen it depicted much better. Also, the outfits are great. Like, it just looks like people just came from the club and they're just hanging out and just kind of hang on their own worlds, but doesn't look like a crack den. However, let's go over to Swain wearing a leather jacket. Then we have the guy that he is getting his drugs from. As Swain is checking everything to make sure he's not being shorted, the guy speaks up. A snakeskin tank top. It is not the super, super, super thin one that we got from Viking Bikers from Hell, where it was just basically like spaghetti straps over the nipples, which I would love to see on a man. But this is a great snakeskin top. Well, the other guy he works with is wearing zebra. If the edits seem weird this episode, also I'm editing out my coughs. It's still, like I said, it still hasn't gone away. So that also might account for just like the different pitch and the different style and how my voice sounds. It sounds like crap. But also they're playing Public Enemy at this scene too. Again, they had some budget left over. When Swain leaves the crack house after, again, holding that guy at knife point to try to prove a point, the Testarossa is waiting outside. Lights fly on. They spin around and they catch Swain. They bring him to the station. He agrees to do a lineup. Lynette is there with Val and Tubbs. Lynette doesn't point to him. She doesn't ID Swain. Frustrated, Crockett and Tubbs try to figure out what's going on.
So why'd she let him walk when we had him, huh?
Who knows? Valerie whisked her out of there so quick we didn't have a chance to ask her.
Wait a minute. You think Valerie had something to do with this, don't you?
Gotta admit, partner, a lot of things don't add up here.
Once again, I implore you to go to the gallery because Crockett and Tubbs both look so good in this scene. Tubbs is wearing a gray blazer with a black shirt, but it's like a warmer gray. I'm trying to think. Stone is not quite the exact color, but he looks like $1 million in those sunglasses again. Crockett looks great in that kind of dark tan undershirt with the white pants and the straw, like eggshell, like darker than eggshell, beige jacket. They just both look so good in neutral. And again, Tubbs is wearing another mock turtleneck, just looking like $1 million. But no matter how they look, they still can't figure out what's going on. Tubbs goes to see Valerie. Valerie says that she went to go take a nap, and now she can't find Lynette, and she can't find her gun. Tubbs calls into the station to get Swain's address. Then we cut to Swain's apartment. My question was, does Swain not know she's dead? Yeah, she tells him. This quote, trigger warning, but I just had to cut it and play it to really drive it home.
Does your mama know you're here? You giving this away free or is this another deal?
Mama's dead.
She OD'd or what?
Somebody killed her.
You crazy. I ain't killed your mama.
I know you didn't, Swain. Because I did.
You killed your mama?
After you'd had your fun with me, I went out to her. I was hurt bad. She was too high to care that she sold her daughter for a little crack. She got mad at me for crying. Said I should get used to you having me. Something just went off inside my head. And all of a sudden, I saw a kitchen knife in my mama's back.
Now look, you got to be cool about
this. You want a deal, Swain?
Deal for what?
Your life.
That is horrible for so many reasons. And just the imagery of her going to her mom after she had been raped by her mom's drug dealer and her mom being too high to care is so sad. Tubbs and Val, as you can hear in the clip, come to the apartment, get Lynette to drop the gun, to put the gun down, and as she's hugging Val, they're able to get Swain. Another really unpleasant part of this scene is that she comes over with a brown paper bag, margarita mix, which I'm like, okay, you know what? Technically doesn't have alcohol in it. It's just like lime and simple. And sometimes they put like agave or a little bit of orange, not liqueur. I think the margarita mix, sometimes alcoholic, sometimes not. Again, not to be pedantic. Then there's another bottle that is wrapped in paper as well, which looks like wine or maybe whiskey. Could be like a Jim Beam bottle. I was like, who is selling this poor fucking child alcohol? Last thing I think that this poor girl has to deal with. However, that is, at least we wrap it up with Swain being taken away. And there's a little bit of justice. The revelation, though, hits hard. I kind of saw it coming because you saw how sad and frustrated the little girl was, and you just can't imagine what would happen if you were in that situation. But since there's not anything great about this episode, let's end it with Tubbs and Val.
What was I supposed to do, Rico? Turn her in for murder?
You knew it wasn't murder. You knew that.
I knew that they were going to take Lynette away and Swain would walk.
So you decided to frame it?
Tell me this. You never once wanted to frame anybody.
I'd be lying if I said that. But I never did. You're a cop, Val.
Yeah. A burnout cop, Rico, and you knew that.
You could have told me the truth, Valerie.
I was afraid they were going to send her to prison. She would have never made it.
You didn't have to fake it.
There were some things that I didn't fake, Rico. It's too late for us, isn't it?
Woman.
I'm sorry, Rico. I'm so very sorry.
Valerie. Where you going?
After the hearing, if they drop the charges, back to New York. Well, we'll give them this.
I also really understand Val's instinctive nature to protect Lynette. Of like, yeah, I'm not going to turn in this girl, my goddaughter, who's been through so much, and have her end up in juvie or jail. Like, I get it. And Tubbs has also towed the line, and I know that he has definitely thought about it. I also think that since we're coming to the end of the season, part of the reason Tubbs was so optimistic isn't the right word, but so invested in Val was maybe it was his ticket out of Miami, and maybe he thought that things would be better in New York. Maybe he thought that he would be a little bit more inspired in New York and he wouldn't feel the same burnout, but she's going through the exact same thing. She's over it. That's the end of the episode. And since I won't be doing quote of the episode this week because there weren't enough quotes, I will say her "I didn't fake everything" was a nice touch. You know, if you're rejecting a guy's proposal and leaving him behind, that's the least you could do. And we end the episode with Tubbs in the dark, and you can see the lights go down and get dimmed as the end credits roll. Whew. Let's bring up the mood a little bit as we wrap up this episode. We'll talk some fashion. Best dress of this episode, we are going to give it to Tubbs. Again, I really love that dark gray blazer and the pants and the black mock turtleneck dress shirt that he has underneath. He just looks like $1,000,000, and I just really love the cut and how it hangs. And that same outfit is also going to be in the best dressed duo. Again, like I just mentioned 5 minutes ago, him and Crockett in those neutrals, those like sand tones, and the gray just work for them so well. They both look like $1,000,000, and they both haven't been dressed well in season 5. Actually, take the back. Fellow Michael Thomas, especially with those sassy boots, he has looked amazing. But Crockett, not always the greatest wardrobe choices. And even beginning in the episode where he has that weird wool vest with the pink shirt, I was like, oh, ew, what are you doing to Don Johnson, guys? How can you dress this beautiful man? Best Dressed Woman. I already mentioned the exact scene, but again, I love that white jacket on Pam Grier and the earrings looking like $1 million. I hate to say it, but that lineup scene where Lynette, Pam, and Tubbs are behind the double-sided glass, the mirrored glass. Val's jacket is like this lime green. She has a coral shirt underneath. Lynette is wearing her dress that's kind of like a teal aquamarine, and Tubbs again in that amazing outfit. Unfortunately, they just all look amazing for such a sad moment in their lives. Wild card, again, no surprise here. Not just the zebra print vest, but the snake skin print tank top. Two of my favorite things. And you have, it's not a duster, it's not long enough, but you have that leather trench coat or that leather blazer that Swain is wearing. I was like, yeah, this is everyone looks really great for a crack house. Oh, man. And let's go through music. Again, like I said, you'll see it more in the finale, which is next episode. I can't believe it. We're finally here. But we had You're Gonna Get Yours by Public Enemy. At the Crack House, we got Mixed Up Shook Up Girl by Mink DeVille. Again, I am not going to put that song because they're talking about, again, Lynette and what she's been through. And the song more talks about how they're attracted, kind of like how it just it just doesn't vibe with me. So even though I really like the look of Willie DeVille and he had an interesting story, not going to do it. So I am going to give this to Tim Truman, not just because of my Melrose Place affection, but help me through the night. It did fit in with Tubbs being left by the woman he loves, being left alone in a job he's not really that fond of at the end of the episode. I think it resonates more than at the beginning of the episode with that B-roll footage. So I'm going to give this to Tim Truman. And again, skipping the quotes of the episode, I'm sorry, this is just not the episode that lends itself to anything that it didn't have enough comic relief. So I can't really do the quotes of the episode. I honestly thought this episode would be like 20 minutes long when I first recorded, and I'm almost at an hour. So let me wrap it up and let's get ready for the finale. I'll see you for the next episode. We're going to be doing free fall. We're going to be saying goodbye, but we're going to be wrapping up a very impactful, a very important television show in the process. So I look forward to that. Just want to say thank you for listening to Vice and Easy. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for leaving 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thank you for subscribing on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for telling your friends. And thank you for following me on all things social at Vice and Easy Podcast. I'll see you next time.
Hey, man, Miami Wise is #1 new show.